practice of medicine. There's even evidence that suggests, and this is from the verified literature, that he engaged in medical care. Some Neanderthal specimens show evidence of survival to old age despite numerous wounds, broken bones, blindness, and disease, and some of them brain surgery. This suggests that these individuals were cared for and nurtured by others who showed human compassion. These individuals lived in isolated conditions during an ice age, in caves and alcoves, and seriously, they probably fared better and invented better than we would fare under those same conditions. Collective industry, now this was really surprising. At Bilzingsleben, Germany, a Neanderthal site has many hearths and has produced the world's largest collection of bone artifacts with workshops for working bone, stone, and wood. They have all the capacity that we have and more. They discovered, this is amazing. They discovered the first superglue. I remember I lived in St. Louis when superglue was invented. And the report came out that this scientist at a major laboratory called his colleagues in the hall and he said, I want to show you what I've just invented. And he had this gooey stuff in a tube. And they said, well, what is it? He said, well, it's extreme adhesive, extremely effective. It's super glue. He said, okay, what's it good for? He said, well, it'll glue anything together. How many of you have ever used super glue? Sure, we all have. He said, it'll glue anything together. He said, for instance, let me show you. He said, look, he put a dab on the index finger. Fella, don't do that. He put a dab on his thumb and he said, look, I want to show you how good it is. And he put them together. See? It's good. See? 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 They had to take him to the hospital and with a surgery, they separated his fingers. That's on the record. The higher the degree, the more specialized that standard. It's called Peter's Principle of Education. And so he wasn't stupid, but he sure hope he learned a lesson. Well, the Neanderthals he thought he invented super glue. He got the credit, probably the money, but the Neanderthals invented super glue. Look at this. Nova's Decoding Neanderthals explores a surprising claim that these prehistoric people invented an artificial glue that requires a complex manufacturing technique. Now, wait a minute. Not only the hearths with various different shapes to work in bone or stone or leather. Wow. But now, a manufacturing technique. Well, these people were brilliant. Brilliant beyond belief. What were they doing? They were making an adhesive. They kept doing what the American Indians do and wrapping their spear points to the spear shafts, and these big old woolly mammoths and so forth got tangled in, and the spear point wouldn't stay on. So they invented super glue. They took the shaft, the spear point. The super glue has the amazing ability to penetrate, has the propensity actually, to penetrate all cavities and cells. So as it was cooling, they daubed it between the shaft and the spear point, and it actually penetrated all of the veins and cavities, both of the wood, and rocks have tiny veins as well, tiny crevices, both. And once it cooled, if anything broke, it would be the shaft or the spear point, not the joint. They invented super glue. But now, in order to do that, now this is from the technical literature, Neanderthals developed the first industrial process. It helps cast doubt on previous assumptions that Neanderthals lacked the abilities of modern humans to plan ahead, innovate, and communicate through language, art, and symbolism. There's a growing weight of evidence that we may have underestimated Neanderthal skills and behavior, and that they were not the lumbering, dim-witted cartoon cavemen of popular legend. Let's see what they did. That is a small sample. That's birch bark resin. Birch bark resin. At Königsgau in East Germany, evidence indicates that they successfully developed a technique, watch, shown to have the chemical signature of birch bark pitch produced by the dry distillation process. This technical process requires heating birch bark, follow this, not 643 degrees Fahrenheit, but what degree? 644. Below that, it will not catalyze. Catalyzing means to break the molecules apart. So you have to heat it to at least 644 degrees Fahrenheit, or it won't catalyze, won't break the molecules apart. Up to 752 degrees Fahrenheit, not 753. Above 752, it won't polymerize. To catalyze is to break the molecules apart. To polymerize is to form new combinations of the polymers in that molecule. There's an entire PhD industry, an academic process involved. You can get a PhD degree in polymerization. Did you know that? Of course, you know all of those things. I have some friends who have their degrees in that field, and they're chemists. It has to be between, tell me what degrees? 600 and 752. And it has to be anaerobic, without oxygen. That requires a special technique. Now you can do it with earthen jars and sand and charcoal, but they had to know specifically how hot to heat it. They didn't have any thermostats or any way to measure the temperature unless they went, okay, let's see, is that hot enough? No, that's not going to work. That's hot, 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 hot.